obsessed with me.
Who I smoke, Lil Leaky. Who I smoke, Big Meaty. Who I smoke, Lil 2 3 Wonder.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
I was so moved. This is how audiences must have felt when they first saw Olivier play Hamlet. Oh, bravo, boys and girls. Bravo. Except for you. You were god-awful.
Full disclosure, news and commentary number 151, 151, 151, 151, 151. You hear the one kid saying, "Oh no," on my stuff? You hearing this? Oh no. Oh yes is more like the right answer. Welcome to Full Disclosure. We are 5 weeks away from the 3rd year anniversary show. I've already started, well, I'm not going to say what I'm doing, but nonetheless, it is going to be a planned affair. You see this child, right? You see this.
I'm visible. You need to use your optic nerve to really see this child, you know? Anyway.
You know, it's weird. For those of you who don't have children, what you want is you want these smart kids. You think you want healthy, smart kids, and then you get them, and then it's just comedy gold all the time. In any case, let's start with an unboxing. Shout out to my post office box place, but not shout out to the new employee who, for some reason, jam this thing in the post office box instead of just putting the slip in there and letting me get it. Why did you? Why? I'm excited though. It's by Bianca Corelli, who's Santino Marella's daughter, who I worked with at IWE, who got signed by the WWE recently. So I'm excited to see what this is. I suspect it might be a picture, in which case, thanks for crushing this up, post office box people. Be careful with it. Oh, yeah, look at that. To Stephen Platinum. Nice. It will go on my, as my children have dubbed it, the simp wall of great honor. Welcome to Full Disclosure. What is our commentary about? Our commentary is putting an old, tired thing that they say in wrestling to rest. I'm tired of hearing it, tired of reading people say it, and I'm going to explain to you why the thing never applied correctly, and it applies less now than ever. There's your teaser. Let's put up some stuff, bro. What is that? That is a picture of IWE, one of the matchups they're having. Now, they're having a number of big matches. Every show that they do gets bigger and bigger. And yes, I will be there on March 12th. And link to the tickets in my description, as always. Whoa, Leo just goes by. And Leo tries to get up without getting noticed. But I noticed. Notice that cool blue shirt. Thrift store shop and bump. Ba-da-bum-bum, ba-da-bum-bum, ba-da-bum-bum. But that picture, one of the big matches, of course, is for the IWE title, Joe Black against Alex Kane. That is huge. But this match is bananas. It's bonkers, right? Look at all the people involved in that thing. You can't tell me that isn't a big deal. You got O'Shea Edwards, Alexander Hammerstone, Anthony Henry, and Slim J in a #1 contenders match for the championship. Who else has a match that Nobody else. That's who. Man, while I got this thing up, let me switch it out. Boop. What is that? And some people will note that, oh, this is a lot like Platinum Pinfalls. Platinum Pinfalls have been getting great reception. Yes, you can join my Patreon for any amount, and you will get those Platinum Pinfalls the day they come out, as opposed to the compilations, which generally have about a week lag. You don't want a lag, right? You want the news as it comes out. So join my Patreon. In any case, what is that? That's IWTV. As confirmed first by Sports Illustrated, the 4th season of Uncharted Territory is coming to the Southeast starting in May. So the Southeast really getting represented here. AC Max said he was going to do it. Action Wrestling said they were going to do it, and they're doing it. So the weekly series is going to air every Monday night live on IWTV from the TWE Arena at Red Bank, Chattanooga, Tennessee, beginning on May 9th. Season 4 will be branded as Southeast First, Uncharted Territory. AC Mack, Adam Priest, Kevin Koo, Ashton Starr. Big, huge, hairy deal. And it's going to be 13 episodes, and it's going to conclude days before the Scenic City Invitational Tournament. Man, look at how big that show is. It's almost like a world tour. I got jokes. In any case, kudos to Action Wrestling, Southeast First, the whole deal. That is a big, huge, honkin' deal. Georgia Wrestling Fed. Tim Nobles let me know they drew 100. He sent me a picture to confirm it. Not that he had to do that. I trust that man. But good for them. Bro, should I do this? Yes. So Mr. Hughes recently apparently had a bunch of negative things to say about Austin Towers. I'm not sure of the exact context. So you're saying like, well, then what exactly are you talking about here, Steve? How can you talk about some stuff when you don't even blah blah wah 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 wah? I can't speak on what exactly was said, except it was highly negative. Negative enough that Ashton Starr felt the need to... in fact, Ashton Starr just got back to me about it. I can only speak on Mr. Hughes, and I'll say this. That guy is shit. That guy is garbage. That guy's a terrible trainer. Just because some people came out of there that ended up doing okay, that had nothing to do with his training. He was sit on the chair, dude. He's absolutely worthless. He's a garbage human being. When we've interviewed him in the past, he spent the whole time trying to cast aspersions on A.R. Fox. He's just really a kind of a low piece of gutter scum trash. That's Curtis Hughes, and he's always been that way. And I'm not going to judge his weird S&M proclivities that have cost him jobs with the WWF in the past. That is what it is. And I'm not going to call him out for the lying and call him out for basically doing the same match again and again and again and again and calling himself a legend and all of this other nonsense. I'm just going to say, as a trainer, that guy is the pits. I was going to say, as a talent, he is middling at best, a medium talent, as Bill Murray once levied that charge at Chevy Chase. I'm calling that to Curtis Hughes. And just because he could make one face, oh, there, I just made it. I've eclipsed his entire career. Except I didn't have Undertaker's urn. I can't wait to hear that story again. In any case, fuck Curtis Hughes. Austin Towers has, in many ways, surpassed him. He hasn't made that Curtis Hughes in wrestling money yet. But I imagine at this stage in their lives, they're kind of tied financially. And I imagine Austin Towers will continue to rise. Fuck Curtis Hughes. Great. What else we got going on? Let's go over the things that you can find on gwhnewsandnotes.blogspot.com. WrestleMerica results, they came in after. and I didn't even have them in time for the, but wait, there's more, but I have them now. 326 people watching that bad boy. Now that's reported from them. I don't know if they're lying or what, but I'm sure Larry will find out. The thing that Matt Hankins wrote up about Platinum Championship Wrestling Homecoming was pretty fantastic. Just go check that out. Pro South Wrestling Report, fallout from the Valentine's Day Massacre, and it was entitled The Funeral. I love that they're going big. I just love that Pro South is just trying big stuff, man. And APW, 83 people there to watch, so things are slowly getting better. Super duper duper cool. Man, I've already hit most of the things I wanted to talk about, but I want to talk about this. It's Elimination Chamber and No Surrender. Instead of doing separate Platinum verses, I thought that they were great studies in one of the things I'm going to teach today. And it's the difference between macro and micro when it comes to pro wrestling storytelling. And it's very significant because I see people discussing these kind of things in regards to AEW, WWE, independent wrestling. And when people say they understand what storytelling is, I don't think they do because it's layered. And a lot of what we're going to talk today is about nuance, but I wanted to specifically talk about macro and micro in regards to Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber really epitomizes the modern WWE. One, the Saudi Arabia money is ridiculous. In fact, since 2018, the WWE has made $350 million on these Saudi shows. Think about that. Think about that. It's mind-blowing money. And the WWE has gone through a thing of they just do macro storytelling. They don't do micro storytelling anymore. That's when you lose, so that you lose a lot of the nuance, you lose a lot of the subtlety, you lose a great deal of the ability to put things over effectively in a ring. To put it in the bluntest terms possible, the only thing that matters in macro storytelling is the end result. That's it. The point of the main event was that Brock Lesnar wins. And if that means he eliminates a bunch of people in one move each, which makes them look like crap, that doesn't matter because they're not interested in the micro storytelling. They're only interested in the big moves. Brock Lesnar has to win this so we can do title versus title at WrestleMania against Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has to beat Goldberg in order to make that happen as well. So those things are going to happen. And we don't care about the micro storytelling aspects. Doesn't matter if Goldberg grabbed the rope, which is supposed to force a rope break. Now, to wrestling fans, they may look at that and it might put them at unease. But as long as they're getting the macro storytelling, they don't care about the micro storytelling anymore. Brock Lesnar coming in and beating Seth Rollins at a move, beating AJ Styles at a move, throwing, like, that doesn't, like, none of that matters. Bobby Lashley, he looks kind of bad and he's really hurt. None of that matters. They don't care about that. They cared about getting that match in 15 minutes, and they just cared about the big pieces being moved. Becky Lynch beat Lita. That's it. They don't care about and Lita looked better than expected. That's a nice side bonus, but we're not trying to tell another story there. It's just Becky Lynch wins, she moves on. Bianca Belair wins. Well, what about, shouldn't she have eliminated more people in the gauntlet match to make her look better? No, it doesn't matter. All that matters is Bianca wins and then goes on to this, and then Bianca wins that, so we know it's going to be Becky against Bianca. That's all that matters. That's macro storytelling, right? Well, Rhea Ripley survived in that gauntlet for a long time, so surely in the Elimination Chamber, no. You don't... Macro storytelling is about results leading to matches, which lead to results, which lead to other matches. The storytelling within the confines of the matches no longer matters. And if you haven't picked that up from their television shows, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. Elimination Chamber, a number of things happen on that show. Like wrestling fans, because they go under the premise of what was, right? So Drew McIntyre wrestling Madcap Morris, and that move, God, I'm glad that dude is okay. In a micro sense, it is a huge demotion for Drew McIntyre. The guy was the main event of WrestleMania, right? And now he's in a match that is at best a low-end, unimportant Raw match. But you're thinking micro. Macro is, well, he's got a match. Now, is he going to elevate Corbin or elevate? They don't think of things in terms of elevations happen whether you win or lose. That's it. Contrast this with Impact Wrestling, who put on a really great event, but they're caught in the micro, right? So Morrissey against Moose, all kinds of subtlety going on there. We got to make sure Morrissey looks really strong, even though we're probably not going to use him anymore, and Moose is this and Moose is that. All their stuff is really great, but none of it is the kind of macro storytelling that could possibly bring them a new audience. Are they doing the stuff with Ring of Honor really well? Yes. Is it interesting that Eddie Edwards has come and joined Ring of Honor? Yes, it's the only thing that makes sense. But at the end of the day, the macros aren't being accomplished, right? It doesn't matter how good these matches are individually. Yeah. Jonah beats Black Taurus, but we got to make Black Taurus look pretty good. And They're afraid to make the truly big, striking choices in the interest of making sure everybody looks strong. And when you try to make everybody look strong, nothing really stands out that strongly at Impact. Certainly not enough that they can garner a much larger audience than they have now. They're literally, you want to talk about micro and macro? WWE is doing moves that make them millions of dollars, or they're trying to swing the pendulum to get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of more viewers, right? Impact is fighting a game of inches. We're getting 10,000 to 20,000 to 40,000 more people watching their television show is a huge victory for them. And it unfortunately has permeated both of their mentalities, where one of them is doing too much big-term storytelling. Roman can't really lose. And so everything has to get thrown under the tank treads for him. That's how the WWE has told stories for 20 years plus now. And now we're really seeing the effect of, my God, nothing matters beyond two people. Because they're interested in these macro stories only. And the macro impressions. Whereas Impact is interested in being the best. And that means that they think of every little nuance and every little match has the little story. And that's all good. But when you have too much of one or the other, what you get is either a product that overall isn't of the highest quality, or a product that is of an incredible high richness and quality, but ultimately not something that you want to consume on a regular basis. Balance must be achieved. All right, I'm going to talk about, the commentary is about the thing that I want to die, but I want to talk about nuance right now. So I'm going to put up pictures. Boop. What are these pictures of? These pictures are of the beekeeper suits that the women had to wear at No Surrender. And also showing you how they normally look. So you can see how much skin is usually showing. And now we don't have skin showing. And how do you approach this discussion? And you should have a discussion. I brought my kids down and I showed them they were never going to watch all that shit. My kids are too smart to love pro wrestling. But I showed them enough of Elimination Chamber and let them know. Like, they're in Saudi Arabia. They used to have rules against women being on the events at all. And now we've moved things forward. So women are not only on the event, which was a big deal when it was just one match, but this was like multiple matches on the same card and featured prominently on billboards and stuff in town. All that's good. But they're also wearing beekeeper suits. Now, the women made the most of it, right? If I got to be covered from the neck down entirely, I mean, some of the outfits that they had. Liv Morgan's insane. Naomi's nuts. I thought Bianca Belair. I thought everybody's full body outfit, full coverage outfit looked really great. And I thought the hilarity of Rhea Ripley coming out there as some kind of dominatrix in order to keep things, but a covered dominatrix, so it's okay. I thought that was hysterical. So the women are doing the best with what they can, but make no mistake about it. I made sure my kids realized, like, it's still not fair and it's still unbalanced. Now, it might be moving towards the progression of someday, but until then, the guys can have skin showing up the wazoo and the women can't, which just goes to show a basic, fundamental mentality that is happening on those shows. And we had a discussion. Is this okay that the WWE is taking this money? Is it okay that they're dealing with Saudi Arabia? And I brought up a number of the problems with Saudi Arabia. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. It's a nuanced discussion. And I think we need to have more of those. This idea of nuanced discussion and actual conversations as opposed to advocating for a side like a high school debate. I don't know when we've gotten here where everything is just a high school debate where you advocate for a position beyond reason as opposed to nuance. But I am determined in 2022 and beyond to bring nuance back. Please join me. Commentary. When a wrestler gets hurt, usually by accident, certainly something that's not intentional, or a wrestler's talking about their injuries, they say this phrase that I despise. Well, it's not ballet. One, yes it is. Ballet is storytelling through a physical medium and requires a great deal of physicality and discipline. So maybe it's not, because wrestling doesn't require the same amount of discipline necessarily, does it? This idea of snobbery, where wrestling somehow purports that it is superior or better in some way, shape, or form than another physical performance, is asinine. Is the idea that in wrestling things are tougher than they are in ballet in terms of what? Injuries? Some common dance career ending injuries are foot and ankle injuries, Achilles severing, Achilles tendonitis, ankle impingement, knee injuries, patellofemoral pain syndrome, stress fractures, including in the lumbar spine, is incredibly common since they have to constantly be in a vulnerable position in takeoffs and landings. And then long term, they develop arthritis in the knee, hip, ankle, and foot. In pro wrestling, are head injuries common? Somewhat, far less than they used to be, right? And that's a good thing. But this idea that ballet dancers have it easy and pro wrestlers have it tough is asinine. And I would argue, and I think it could be argued, I don't think it's beyond dispute, to be a aspiring and or top level ballet dancer requires a discipline of the body and mind that pro wrestling people cannot comprehend. To put it simply, could a ballet performer on the top level with sufficient training and a little bit of desire do pro wrestling? Absolutely. Could top-level pro wrestlers with sufficient training, a little bit of desire, do ballet? Probably fucking not. Instead of pro wrestling lashing out and trying to compare itself favorably to other things, my premise is that pro wrestling, instead of dismissing something like ballet, should maybe look at what they're doing. How to physically tell a story. How to physically tell traditional stories. how to incorporate different body types. Because if you did not know, ballet has evolved from what we think of as the traditional ballet dancer. And I've seen those shows myself, and they're breathtaking, and they're unbelievable. And the level of production and the level of physical skill, and making sure their audience is educated on such things. And they are attempting to expand their audience, while pro wrestling is attempting to shrink theirs. So in other words, if I had my way, the idea of, well, it ain't ballet, as a dismissive thing to ballet, would die. And instead, it ain't ballet, but we hope to get there someday, which is the much more positive, realistic, accurate statement. Dun, 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 dun. This has been Full Disclosure. Dun-dun-dun-dun.